Yeah, kid! Welcome everybody back to another episode of the Handsome Homebuyer Podcast. Rip it, man. Rip it. Rip it. Rip it. Rip it. I am your host, Charles, a.k.a. the Handsome Homebuyer, a.k.a. Captain Permit, a.k.a.
El Jurio Maravilloso.
Nice. A.k.a. There's a new a.k.a. today. The 2020 LLS Man of the fucking Year, baby. All right? You know who else is the Man of the Year? Matt, who else is the Man of the Year?
Captain Permit.
No shit, Captain Permit. 516-513-883. And if you need plans, if you need permits, if you need a handsome, bald man with light eyes to look at who's jacked to the tits, you want to call us. I'm talking about Mike, our COO, runs the show, does it looking better than anybody else in the business. We got a ton of support lately from people. Business coming out the door. Thank you, townships. For as much as I hate you, I do love you in a certain way. But on the truth, if you need anything permit related, you need advice, if you're a mortgage broker, realtor, anybody related to the house fix, flip, selling business, give us a call, 516-513-883. And obviously, if you have a house that smells like cat pee, is dated from the 1960s, 6 inches of mold on the wall, human waste flowing past the basement steps, land, anything real estate related, I'm low maintenance, I'm a good time, I'm good for a few laughs, I want to buy it. 516-777 sold. All right, we got a rock star in the house. A young buck rock star in the house. Let's get the list is long but distinguished. So, top 20 under 40. Director of YPN. Only been an agent for 18 months and is crushing life right now. Gonna sell 50 plus homes this year projected, possibly 60.
Knock on wood.
No need to knock on wood because it's gonna happen.
Knock on wood.
He is he's got the real estate roundup. I can't say a name yet. Coldwell Banker, one of the most, I would say, the most in love man on Instagram. This is one of those things where, like, you know, you see people's stories and you're like, you know what? That's fucking beautiful. Like, I want to be in love like that guy, right? Everybody knows what I'm talking about. That's today's guest, the Oneil team, Dan Oneil.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Like
Thank
that?
you. Thank you for the nice intro. Thanks for
That was a
having
lot.
me. Honored
But really,
to be here.
it's a nice thing, bro. It's nice.
Yeah.
I love love. I do. I love love. So you're crushing life right now, bro.
Thank you.
And in a very, very short period of time, I respect what you're doing. I love what you're doing. I love the fucking hustle. I see the passion. It bleeds. And people want to know. The public wants to know, needs to know, you know, how Dan Oneil works, how it all came together. Because, I mean, 18 months is nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit more than 18 months, but I mean, it's less than 2 years. So I think I got my license in February. So
Yeah, and it just goes to show. I think it goes to show the public, no excuses.
Yeah.
Right. You're 25 years old. You grew up Suffolk County, Long Island, right?
Yeah, Stony Brook.
Stony Brook.
Yeah.
And I mean, where to really begin here? How, you know, I just kind of want a little bit of the backstory as far as, you know, how you got into real estate. What were you doing before? Like, you didn't grow up in a real estate family.
No.
You know, what kind of led you down the road of real estate, and then what led you to ultimately being an agent as opposed to going in a different direction?
Yeah, so I went away to school. I went to college in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I had the time of my life. It was awesome. I came back. Didn't really know what I wanted to do at the time. I was like 22 years old, I guess. I was bartending. I got I was 22 years old, and the person I was bartending for at the restaurant asked me to be the general manager at 22 years old, as he's videoing me. And so he asked me to be the general manager. I'm 22 years old. Like, now I'm doing P&Ls. I'm doing this, that, the other. Like, I'm running a $350,000 a month business at 22 years old.
What was the restaurant?
Schaefer's in Port Jeff.
Okay.
So I shouldn't have been doing that. So it kind of like, I shouldn't have been. Seriously, I mean, I was so young. It was
But awesome
insane.
experience on somebody else's dime, really.
On somebody else's dime. So I was working 70, 80 hours a week. I would get to the restaurant at 10 o'clock in the morning. My shift would end at like 11 p.m. when dinner was over, and then they had a nightclub. So the nightclub, like, he'd be like, oh, hey, can you stay for the nightclub and work and close it? So I'm working from 10 o'clock in the morning now to, like, let's say 4:30 in the morning, and then doing it the next day.
Jesus.
So I was burnt out. And
How long did you do that for?
I was doing it for probably a little bit shy of like a year. So, and what sucked is, you know, I was working 70, 80 hours a week, but I was still making the same money as if I worked 40 hours. So I was making like $1,500 a week, which wasn't bad at the time for 22 years old.
That's
like,
a lot.
wasn't it? Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I felt like it was a good experience for me. I got to learn a lot. I was doing P&Ls. I was doing the liquor ordering, the food order. I was running the show. It was insane, and I shouldn't have been. So long story short, I didn't like it. I was very burnt out. I kind of hit a little bit of a rock bottom because when you're in the restaurant industry, it's synonymous to drink a lot. So like after every single night at work, you're going out, you're drinking, you're doing whatever. And I kind of fell in like a really bad rut. Me and my girlfriend at the time broke up. It was really devastating to me. I was 22 years old. I thought it was the love of my life. Now looking back at it, I laugh. But at the time, it crushed me. So I was like, I was messed up about it. And I was working, 80 hours a week, 90 hours a week. I wasn't happy. So it kind of all meshed together. And it led me to start drinking, like, really bad. And it wasn't like I was drinking, like, I'd wake up in the morning and I'd slug a beer. But it was, if I would go out, I would drink to excess. And, at 22 years old, that's what everybody was doing. It was in the restaurant industry, all my friends, everything. So I kind of hit a little bit of a rock bottom. I was really, really unhappy. And my manager the owner came into me and was like, listen, you're not never gonna be anything more than a used car salesman. You're never gonna make anything of yourself. You dress like, he was calling me gay, this, that, the other.
Who said this?
The owner of the restaurant.
That
I was busting
my
my
ass
for.
You were working 80 hours
You
a
have
week
no clue. Like, it's really bad.
Obviously, he was like worried that you were gonna leave.
So exactly. So he was trying to demote me. He was bringing in this fix-it-all guy, end-all, be-all guy, this huge GM from the city. So he wanted me to step down and be like the assistant manager instead of the GM.
What a dick.
Yeah. So I mean, we've now after 3 years or 2 years, I've just made up as of last week. So long story short, he said that to me, and I was just like so heated that I was just like, no, thank you. Like, I quit. So then I had really nothing. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was going out and applying for different restaurant managing positions. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to work for anyone anymore. I want to be my own boss. I want to do something where I can help people. I can make as much money as I humanly possibly can. So I decided to get my real estate license. My buddy Cameron works over at A&B Mortgage, which is very closely associated to Weichert here in Farmingdale.
Okay.
And he was like, listen, they're always hiring for new agents. Like, if you want to come on board. And I just took the class, and that was it. I had like $0 to my name. I was putting quarters in my... I was emptying out my change jar to get to closings, to get the showings. And it was just a really bad situation. And listen, it's not like, it's not like I have a huge hardship where I didn't grow up with anything, but I never wanted to ask my parents for anything because my mother works her absolute ass off. She was a single mom, for my entire childhood. She was working 60 hours a week herself as a hygienist just to pay for my own shit, for baseball, for this, that, the other. So yeah, you know what? I probably could have asked them for help, but I didn't want to. I had too much respect for that. So I was struggling on my own. I kind of, hit this really dark time and this really, hardship and rock bottom. And the only thing that could have came with it is I quit drinking for a year. I started, really busting my ass. I was making all these cold calls. I was doing whatever I could just to get in front of somebody's face, for an appointment. And my life could have went one of two ways. I could have continued what I was doing and been an absolute mess up, idiot, and kept drinking and kept doing whatever. I would have been in the restaurant industry for the rest of my life, which is not a bad thing, but it's just not what I wanted. Or I could have made a change and chose the high road, and that's what I did, and now I'm here in front of you.
It also, it wouldn't have been healthy. That's a tough industry for a lot of different
it really is. It really is, and it's just, it's a lifestyle.
So there's two things I want to highlight, and I always kind of like want to ram down people's throats because I think they're so important. Mm-hmm. Is one, I was curious to know, but then you kind of told me, where the drive, where the hustle, where the work ethic comes from, and it obviously it comes from your mother. It might come from your father as well, but obviously
both of them,
you highlighted your mother.
My father's been through 2 divorces, mainly because he's an absolute workaholic. I'm sure because of other things too, but that's one main reason.
What does he do?
He did landscape and masonry for out east. So he was working 80 hours, 90 hours a week, and that's kind of where I think I got it from. And same thing with my mom. She has a really, really good work ethic. I got it from both of them. I am blessed.
Nice.
But now it's almost to a fault where I'm doing the same exact thing, and
And the other thing that I think is just, it's awesome, and I kind of I welcome and embrace these things right now. Like Maddie and I just went through one of them, which we'll touch on in a minute, but truly uncomfortable, lower than low, gut-wrenchingly, emotionally painful situations spawn just life-changing events.
Yeah.
So it's like you were, lower than low, a guy sitting there telling you the biggest piece of shit that ever lived, and now he's probably come back saying, listen, I want to know Dan Oneil because Dan Oneil's crushing it.
Yeah. He called me 2 weeks ago. His restaurant's up on the market for $3.5 million.
Yeah.
And he told me after all these years, he was like, listen, I've had 12 managers after you, and he was like, you were the only one that really worked hard for me. He's like, and I really appreciate it, and I'm sorry for everything that happened.
Fuck that guy. I'm sorry. I would like to try and be like, yeah, but you know what? That's not.
But you know what? I truly believe, and I
he did you a favor.
I mean this. He did me a favor. Number one, and number two, everything happens for a reason. I think that everything that I've been through thus far has got me to the point where I'm at now, where I've matured overnight. Like, I'm 25 years old. I know a lot of my friends are 25 years old. There are a lot of people that I grew up with, whatever the case is, that I see around. People I went to college with. They're still doing the same shit they did at 18, 19, 20. They haven't hit that peak yet, where they kind of all right, listen, this is life now. It's not a joke anymore. So I think that all of that experience kind of led me to where I am now, and it's more of just, I matured a lot in these last 2 years.
Yeah, no, those gut-wrenching experiences, we have that big development going on in Oceanside. There's a lot of, really positive buzz, but then, when you have 33,000 people, there are going to be some people that, have their own agenda or just hate you or everything. Yep. So as Maddie and I are sitting there getting, browbeaten by, a dozen people for 90 minutes, I was like, this is awesome! Yeah. I was like, this is great, because it's something that would be truly uncomfortable for a lot of people,
Yeah.
but like I embrace that stuff and I'm like, this is awesome because I'm going to learn through this process and something great is going to happen.
Yep.
And this development is ultimately going to happen. It's going to be a great thing. But it's very cool to go through that process and kind of like put yourself out there and be outside your comfort zone. Because when you do that, that's when like truly great shit happens.
Yeah, of course.
So you get into real estate. Now what? Like, you have any idea what you're doing?
So no, not really. I mean, I came out as a single agent. I was here in Weinraub and Farmingdale. I didn't know the first thing about Nassau. I didn't know the first thing about Farmingdale.
So why did you end up at Weinraub?
Because my friend Cameron was in mortgages with A&B.
Okay.
And he works like side by side with Weinraub in their office.
Got it.
So it was kind of just like a way in. I didn't interview anywhere. I just literally went straight to their career day, got my license, went right in. I was working right here on Fulton Street in Farmingdale. And and I just started. Their training was good. Don't get me wrong, their training was very good. I was very happy with the training that they gave me. But at the end of the day, it's on you. You can have the best training in the entire world. You can have Tom Ferry coaching you side by side, but it's really up to you to take that training and run with it. So I was on the phone every single day, calling expireds, door knocking left and right. I was making up any excuse I could to get in front of somebody. I told this story last week on my podcast with Asaph. I used to bring my dad around with me to force out my owner appointments, pretending he was a buyer. And I got caught so many times because his truck would say Oneil and Welshar.
He probably also looks like you.
Yeah, he does, yeah. And you can just tell
But that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. So the one story, and this is one of like the biggest investors, the biggest clients I have now, is I brought him to his house. It was a $750,000 house in Smithtown. I bring my father. I tell him to park down the road. Like, don't fucking park your truck over here. I go, just walk through the house.
Was that your idea or your father's idea?
That was my idea. I said, just walk through the house. Don't say a word. Just pretend like you're a buyer. Let me do all the talking. Don't say anything. So, of course, my dad does not listen to a thing that I say. He parks right out front. Then he's walking through the guy's house, and he's talking like he knows like he's like a contractor. He's like, oh, what is this, LVT? He's in the guy's shower, his stand-up shower, running the water. Like, oh, this water is hot. It's hot, quick. So I'm looking at my dad. Like, I'm shooting him looks. I'm like trying to tell him to shut up. So finally the guy puts two and two together because he's a detective for the 6th Precinct. So he looks out the front door and he goes, all right, man. He's like, the show's up. He's like, this is your father. He's like, come on, really? He's like, I see the guy's truck.
Give me the listing.
Yeah, give me the listing. Yeah. And I sold it.
That's fucking awesome.
And I sold it. And not only did he give me that, but now I'm so connected with his precinct, I guess. He's probably given me 5 listings. He's given me every single one of his rentals. And I talk to him every day. He's one of my really good friends now.
That's fucking
this 50-year-old guy that called me red-handed lying to him.
So for the first time in Handsome Homebuyer podcast history, I got like actually in the last 30 seconds, I rattled off like a bunch of different things that I'm actually really curious to hit you up on.
Yeah.
So like I have this thing recently. I call it broker beef. Actually, I just made that up 3 minutes ago. So
yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of brokers out there, but a very small amount of brokers are really truly giving value, right? So you have your own team, you have the Oneil team, which I'd love to talk about. I see you giving tons of value, helping these guys, promoting them, showing them what to do, and so I'm curious to know how you selected a broker, and for new agents out there, because a lot of new agents, like I had class last night in the city, and my professor is going to become an agent, a commercial agent.
Yeah.
And he said to me, what I'm going to ask you now, which is, how do I decide who I go with?
Yeah. So for me, you kind of have to look at the whole package. You got to look at training. You have to look at splits. You have to look at their market share. There's a lot of different factors that play into it. For me, I think that most people can be successful anywhere they go, like the big time agents. Like if Beth went to Douglas Elliman, she went to Coba, whatever, she would be very successful. It's the same thing with a lot of these agents. What I do think is important is to find where you want to work with, the culture that you want to be in, the office that you want to be in. And for me, the biggest thing is I love my branch manager. I love Karen Hendricks. What I love the most about it is she doesn't compete, so it's not like I'm going on a listing appointment and
That's
my
a big
manager
deal, bro.
and my manager is going on the appointment after me. You shouldn't be doing that.
No.
So I feel like whatever, as a broker, I don't think you should be competing. I think you should be out of the sales.
Yes.
I think you should be focusing most on managing and training and helping your agents. She is such a help to me. I went to my girlfriend's nephew's first birthday. Excuse me. On Saturday, and I have a 950 listing, 950,000.
Okay.
So obviously, like I'm supposed to be there to show it, and I like to be there to show it myself, but I couldn't get there. My team was busy with open houses, so Karen on her Saturday afternoon went and showed it for me, which is amazing.
That is
But
amazing.
the funny thing is, I'm driving down, I-90, whatever it is, to Jersey Turnpike, and she's FaceTiming me, and I hid the key in a mum. I hid it in like the plant, the mulch.
Yeah.
So she's sitting like Indian style on this woman's front porch, dumping out the mums. Yeah. So I'm thinking, she doesn't have to be doing this. Listen, she was a top agent for how many years? It's her Saturday afternoon. She does not need to be doing this, but she's doing it for me because she loves me. She sees my potential and whatever the case. So I'm thinking about it. I'm like, if my seller has a ring on her door, like the camera, I'm fired. Like she's sitting on her porch, like on her stoop, like emptying out mums.
No, that's a great thing. No, listen,
Yeah, but-
you can't be everywhere, but just you have a comprehensive team of people that like kick ass with you. That's all people really want.
Of course.
So you essentially are like a broker in training or like a mini broker.
So I think that, to answer your first part of the question, I think you need to find somewhere where you like the culture, you like your branch manager, them not competing is big, them doing a ton of training. The training is very, very important because if you bring on new agents, whether you're on a team or whatever the case is, you can't possibly be the only one to train them. They have to go through, an intense training.
And I feel like most brokers don't. They don't like.
No.
Most brokers, like people always. I feel like the brokerage industry is kind of like the fitness industry now. Meaning, like at first it's CrossFit, then it's fucking this.
Yeah.
First it's like Remax, then now it's EXP. Before that it was Exit. Like everyone's jumping.
Yeah, exactly.
And why are they jumping? Are they jumping because there's no value there because it's trendy? Like what is it?
I also think that the easy thing to do nowadays is to jump instead of like dig your feet in and say, okay, well, what is the issue? Is it the brokerage or is it me? Yeah. I think it's very easy. I think it's very easy for people to blame the brokerage as to why they're not doing well, and then the jump is just their scapegoat as, okay, the brokerage wasn't providing enough value. The biggest thing is, and this is for my team too, like you have to be able to create value constantly for your team, for your agents, if you're a broker, whatever. You have to constantly be adding value, and if you're not, then people are going to leave you. So my biggest thing is, excuse me, it's the freaking Jewel. I know how important it is to create value, right? So, I know how important it is to create value.
What is the lesson that we learned from that little thing just now?
Keep pushing.
Keep
pushing.
Wait, keep pushing the Jewel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep hitting it hard.
If Jewel wants to sponsor me, 631-384-8611. So the biggest thing for my team, listen, these people, all the people on my team right now, have only had their license for a few months. It's not like I joined with a bunch of top agents, right? But they are all buying into everything that I'm telling them, everything I'm teaching them, everything that I'm explaining. This one guy, John, on my team has gotten 3 listings in his first 2 months, which is insane.
Sick.
He sold a $50,000 baiting hollow, one of those like mobile homes.
Yeah.
If that's not hustle, like that's insane. Most people wouldn't even go on that appointment, and he sold it. It's like a land lease. He's gotten 3 listings. This kid Justin's had his license for 30 days. He's had 2 listings. The kid Jake on my team, same exact thing. Like they're all getting listings, which is as a brand new agent, that's not the case.
So I'm going to ask you the question that everybody is going to want to ask you right now.
What?
Why?
Because we are creating more value on these appointments and these listing appointments than everyone else. So everyone has the same listing appointment. We're gonna put the house up on 50,000 websites and reach London. We're gonna put the house on Facebook. We're gonna put it on Zillow and Trulia, and everyone's gonna see it. We're gonna put it in London for your $400,000 house. That's not it. You can trust me. I'm available. These things are just givens. They're given. Every listing appointment is the same exact thing. Every listing appointment is the same exact thing. You have to create more value. That's it. You have to be able to prove your value to these potential sellers more so than anybody else. And we're just doing a really, really good job of doing that. And it's just working in our favor.
You also bring the energy, bro. Like, you could feel it.
Yeah,
and people
course.
thrive off that. Like,
Yeah.
I live and die with that. Like, for me, if you have good, positive energy, I feel it. I feel like I have this kind of like little psychic vibe as I get older.
Yeah.
And I'm like, either I want to be around you based on feeling, or I don't want to be around you based on feeling. We had that conversation on camera before, and like you know who you want to be around and who you don't want to be around. So you are, I mean, a lot of this stuff, I guess you innately knew. You had the hustle, and then the restaurant business was probably a super pivotal moment in your life because you probably just, like for me, I worked at a 7-Eleven when I was a kid. So what I learned is, from the time someone grabs milk or coffee to the time they walk out the door, which is 30 seconds when I ring them up, how do I build a relationship and essentially get them to love me within that short period of time?
Yeah.
And that rapport building is what you really need to do in order to be successful in life and business and anything. Now, I was just doing it. I didn't realize this now, but now being older.
Yeah, I think all of the jobs that I've had kind of brought me to this point. So when I was younger, my father owned a farm stand. So I was 15 years old selling Japanese maples. I was selling hibiscus hydrangeas, Leland cypresses, and I didn't know the first thing. So if you're from the Three Village area and you had an influx of dying flowers in 2008, I'm apologizing now. And that was sales because I'm selling a $2,500 Japanese maple. I'm 15 years old. You know what? I don't know the first thing about a Japanese maple.
Why did you start the Oneil team?
I started the Oneil team because it kind of was just the right time, I think. So I was getting really busy to the point where I needed help, and I was getting to the point where I had a lot of my friends and people that I knew before real estate getting their license, and I was finding myself helping them. I was finding myself wanting them to succeed. So why not kind of, join up with a bunch of like-minded people that are my age. We're doing things a little bit different. This is a very predominantly older industry, so by being 25, 26, 24, we're kind of doing something that's a little bit different. Juan Baronecci, same exact thing. He's younger, he's killing it out in the city and Nassau and all over the island actually. So he's doing the same exact thing. I just felt like it was the right time. It was a bunch of like-minded people that I wanted to work with, that I enjoy working with, that I really ultimately want to succeed. If any one of them do 70 deals next year and I do 60, or if they do 110 and I do 100, nothing will make me happier. I would be extremely happy. I've always had the I want to help mentality, which is another reason why I love this business so much, because, listen, we're not curing cancer. We will be with the LLS Man of the Year. But we're not curing cancer with what we're doing. But at the end of the day, we are doing something special because we are helping these people out. Whether they're selling, they're netting the most money possible for them to go down south, for them to downsize, whatever they're doing. And on the buying side of things, we're helping them get a great deal on a house. It's a stress-free, easy process. And we're not curing cancer, but we are doing something special. And I love it.
So you're pumped up every day. I love it. You're getting me pumped up. What stokes the fire in Dan Oneil's belly?
I am just I'm motivated every single day, and the main motivation for me is just that I want to change this industry a little bit, and I want to do things the right way.
And it's time to do that.
It's
ready.
It is time to do that, because for some reason when we go on these appointments and people wonder why everyone wants to sell their house for sale by owner, it's because of the mantra. It's because of the stigma that they have from agents, because some of these agents are just, not to talk bad about anybody, but they're just, they're not good people. So there's a lot of bad people in this business, and I kind of want to weed them out, and I want to show that it doesn't have to be that way.
No.
And I don't know.
Dude,
I love this business, and I love helping people. The more people I can help, every single day I wake up, if I can help, I just helped somebody. He was one of the last remaining people that he pulled out, the last survivor of 9/11. This dude's he's one of the most famous 9/11 pictures of all time. It's the guy, he's leaning over a guardrail, his helmet's dangling. I just sold his condo in Holbrook. And to be able to help this guy who was an absolute hero, to be able to help him through selling, buying, everything, he went under contract on 9/11. It was the coolest shit in the world. So to be able to help somebody like this, it's just like amazing. And everyone has a story, whether they're buying or selling. Everybody has a story, and I just love.
The key is to listen and actually give a shit.
Yeah, of course.
That's the thing. Like, most people are sitting there waiting for their moment to talk.
Yeah.
Listen to people. Ask them. Be genuinely interested about their life, their passions, their story, what they've done.
Yep.
You will learn so much, and it's very, very fulfilling.
Yeah.
But what I want to say is, if you're not in a place where you want to be, the time is now. Like, I think the time is now more than it has ever been before. There is so much opportunity in the world, in every industry, because the way things are changing, technology coming in, baby boom generation, very large generation, older, phasing out, retiring, etc. There is nothing but opportunity in every single industry out there.
Yeah.
So, if you're not crushing it right now, the only thing you got to do is look in the mirror and say, yo, am I really doing what it takes? And I'll argue to say, no.
Yeah.
Sure.
1000% agree, yeah.
So let's talk about, I want to talk about your marketing. You're a huge Zillow proponent. People are saying to me, I hear what you said before. It was Zillow's kind of like the evil whatever.
Yeah, of course.
The only thing I don't like about Zillow, the only thing that Zillow fucks with me on, but I really don't care that much, is someone will look at it and say, oh, my house with 14 feet of compressed garbage and cat shit that you can't walk in without a mask, and Maddie in a hazmat suit is worth $650,000 in Bellport. It says it on Zillow right here.
Yeah, this estimate, yeah.
That's the only thing that I think is kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
But stereotypically, what do agents have an issue with Zillow?
So, the biggest thing is just that they're trying to take over what we do for a living. They're trying to get into our space.
Can they really do that?
I think... No, I don't think they can, but I think that they can try pretty hard. It's the same thing with Redfin. Redfin now has listings, RedX, all these different companies. We never thought that Redfin would be able to, but I just passed a listing next to my house the other day and it was a Redfin listing. So
yeah, but it has an agent attached to it,
from Redfin. So basically, it'd be like Zillow.
But they're just like a brokerage, aren't they? Essentially, if Coldwell or Exit or anybody else, aren't they? They're brokerages now.
Essentially, yeah.
With their own database.
My biggest problem with Zillow, and I'm part of the problem, so I can't really say anything, but is when I have a listing, which I have many of them, and somebody wants to go see my listing, if it's a listing that I don't advertise, in that town, like say I have something in Wading River, I don't spend in Wading River, they go to click more information, they want to reach out to me, because nowadays people are comfortable going straight to a listing agent, whereas 10, 20 years ago, I don't think they were. So somebody wants to reach out to me, they want to see my listing, it goes to somebody who's advertising in Wading River.
Because they're paying them. Got it.
So now they come in, they sell my house, they get 2%. But I can't really complain because I do the same thing. House.
Yeah, and they're selling. The objective is to get the house sold as fast as possible. But
I can tell you that we do have success with Zillow. There's a certain number that I think you have to spend in order to really culminate on it. And you can't be lazy. You have to stay on top of them. You have to put them in your CRM. You have to show them the house and everything.
So let me ask you this question: how long, like when you do something like that, you got to commit to it, and it can't just be Zillow. Like you're not just doing Zillow; you're doing fucking 300 things.
Of course.
So, how long after advertising on Zillow did you start to see traction?
So I've only had the team for a month, and
you didn't advertise in Zillow when you were by yourself.
It was kind of sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. I would put it on, pull it off. I don't think I was putting enough money onto Zillow. So now with the team,
or being consistent.
Exactly. So now I have a lot of money on Zillow, and we're getting a lot of leads. And now, my team, I think they converted 3 leads last month. So, I mean, pays for itself. And they're doing business for themselves. They get higher splits and this, that, the other. So, I mean, I think that if you spend enough on Zillow and you really do it the right way, like we have a weekly meeting every single week. We go through every single lead. Who's Charles? Oh, he's looking for this, that, the other. Okay, who's this? And we go over it and we culminate it. And we make sure that nobody's forgotten. We're constantly touching them. We're constantly keeping up with them, reaching out to these people if they went, if they went away for a week or two, we're reaching back out. You just got to, it's follow-up.
Talk to me about the structure that you have with your team. Like you mentioned that you have weekly meetings with them. Like, what are you doing for them to keep them engaged? How do you structure it so that like they're held accountable, you're held accountable, and you're always moving forward and no one's kind of like left in the wings?
Of course. So I think the biggest thing with my team too is that all these people, for the most part, I've knew before I got into real estate. So they saw me beforehand, and now they've seen what I've been able to accomplish in these, just shy of 2 years. So I've really bought into everything I'm doing because they see that it clearly works. So we do the weekly meetings. We do a training every single week. What I try and do is like I'll notice that 2 people brought up something about an inspection report. So that week's training will be what they both were asking about in the inspection report. We'll do like a weekly training on how to handle the Zillow calls, what to say, how to approach them. We'll talk about listing appointments, how to provide more value than somebody else is doing. So for me, the structure really is just, we have certain things implemented where I want to see them succeed more than anything in the entire world. So I'm going to do everything in my power. I just try and everything they ask me about. If there's a common question we talk about, the Zillow leads. There's certain things like when you first get your license, it doesn't even make sense to start by yourself anymore. It doesn't, because you're going to have the same exact split as you do by yourself as if you did it on a team. And the team will actually provide leads for you. So, I mean, we had 10 leads yesterday between 5 people.
But again,
just off Zillow.
To go back to the original concept is not all businesses, not all people, not all real estate agents, not all teams are created equal.
Of course.
Like, that's a great thing if you're on the Dan Oneil team.
Yeah.
It's not a great thing if you're on some other team.
No, of course.
Where they don't do shit.
And listen, I just took somebody, well, not took somebody, but somebody just joined up with me that was on a team at Element, and he was saying that they didn't provide any leads. There wasn't a lot of value. It was literally nothing. It was just that he was working underneath them. So you have to be able to create value. And I'm teaching them everything that I know. I'm teaching them. I'm giving to them. Yeah. I'm showing them how I do things. I'm an open book. If they have any questions, they reach out to me. Any appointments they go on. We're going on like 6 or 7 for sale by owner appointments a week, and I'm going with them.
What do you say to people who say, Dan, why would you tell them all this stuff? Why would you be so transparent? They're going to be your competition, they're going to leave you, and then they're going to take all your listings, and you're going to be, fucked with no money.
I think that if you continue to create enough value for people, they won't leave you. And if they do, I would be more than happy. If any one of these people, I told them when they joined up with me, if you go and start your own team, I'll be your number 1 fan. I really will.
Dude, 100%.
I will root for you all day long.
People don't get it. Yesterday, now I'm doing a lot more commercial stuff. Still doing a ton of residential, but I'm doing more commercial. Yeah. So I am so pissed at the commercial world in general.
Yeah.
There's 30,000 realtors, there's 300 commercial agents, and 98% of them suck balls. Completely suck balls. They don't call back. They don't know what they're doing. Like, they're just flaky as hell. I have never experienced a group of people like this in my entire life.
Yeah.
Just got so fucking frustrating. So yesterday, I was thinking yesterday, how do I meet more commercial agents who are like-minded and want to do fucking deals?
Yeah.
I want to work with those people. So I called up 2 of the greats, 2 guys in commercial real estate that I really love and admire, Michael Murphy and Pat O'Brien.
Mike.
And I'm like, yo, guys, listen. I'm fucking frustrated. Like, I'm a developer. You guys are the brokers. I am fucking frustrated.
Yeah.
We have to change this entire ecosystem. We got to get together and get like-minded brokers and developers like us and say, let's freely share information. This CoStar shit that everybody pays all this money for sucks. If I want to build a medical office building and I need to know comps for leasing and terms and work letter and TI and all this shit, I can't find it anywhere. Yeah. So it's not good for you guys. It's not good for me. There's also agents that want to do commercial that have no fucking clue, and they're super confused because there's no information, there's no education, and they're just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm like, we'll all do so much better. You guys will have more agents that'll be better educated, that'll have better training. There'll be more developers out there because there'll be more information, so people will feel comfortable building stuff on spec if they have real data.
Yeah.
And the clients will do better because they'll get better quality developments. So what are we doing? And they said 100%. Let's sit down and talk about it and figure it out. But on the surface, people might say, why are you doing that? Like, you can't share. The way the market is right now, these big commercial guys don't share information.
Yeah.
They don't share anything. All they're doing is fucking themselves.
I don't know. I think that there's enough business to go around.
So much business.
I really do. And I would never... I don't see somebody get a listing and I go, oh, damn it, that should have been my listing, or I'm pissed. It's, hey, listen, good for them. They got a great listing. I'm happy for them.
No, that's a fucking beautiful thing. So I want to talk about marketing also in general, just what kind of other, tools, things you've been doing, things you've tested that work, that don't work, what you like in the marketing space. How prolific is important is social media in your opinion, and how do you utilize that?
It's pretty funny. Social media is my number one lead source. How crazy does that sound? It's my number one lead source. Last week alone, I got 4 listings off my Instagram.
Well, let me stop you for a second there. Do you find when you quantify your buyers and who they are and your sellers and who they are, they have certain demographics? Are they certain areas? Are they certain age groups? Like, what are they? Are they all over the map?
All over the map.
Do you feel that, and your leads that you're getting from social media, are they 25-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 30-year-olds, or are they in a certain age group?
I mean, the Instagram and the social media ones I'd probably say are from like the 20 to 40 age group. But what's funny is it's not even like direct consumers. It's not even like direct people reaching out to me. It's somebody that knows somebody. So it's, hey, listen, my parents are thinking about selling in 2 months. Can you go over there on a listing appointment? Hey, listen, my cousin's selling their house here. Can you help them out? I have people calling me saying from the city that I haven't talked to in 3 years saying, hey, listen, my buddy's looking to buy a house out by you. Can you help him out?
Yeah.
It's just every day I'm getting at least like a lead or two. And they're like serious. They're really good leads. And then people, like I went on a for-sale owner appointment. An hour later, the guy followed me on Instagram and he's liking all my stuff. So it's more of just like, I feel like social media and Instagram now is like your business card. I feel like my Instagram is my business card.
I mean, listen, I got to tell you, being in the industry, knowing you personally,
Yeah.
Being your friend, seeing what goes on, like when I watch your stories and I see what goes on, I get fucking pumped about it. I'm like, bro, this guy like sale, listing, sale. It's like, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy, and it gets people excited, and it lets people see like, this is what I'm doing.
Yep. And you give them a glimpse into what your lifestyle too. So who I am. So when I go on these appointments, I'm not like fighting.
You like wine and food.
I like wine and food.
You really like wine.
I love wine. I just recently got into it. But now people know me. Like, so I go on these appointments and they already feel like they know me. So they're not interviewing me. It's not an interview. It's more so like, this is how I'm going to help you. This is how I provide more value than XYZ agents. And this is what I'm going to do for you. It's like
a warm lead because they feel like they've been following you. They know who you are through social media, and with social media, you can paint any picture you want. I'm not saying be manipulative and be a totally different person.
No, of course.
But at the same time, you control what goes on your feed and what doesn't go on your feed.
Exactly.
What advice do you have to agents specifically? They're agents. I get a lot of calls from older agents, especially. Because younger people like yourself, you grew up with the phone in your hand, on camera.
Yeah.
Your age group is more apt to be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
The, let's say, 40 and over, they're not. And they're calling me like, yo, the market's slow, I'm like, the market ain't slow for fucking Brian Karp and Dan Oneil and Beth Lowe and these people. You have to change the way you do business. They're like, what do I do? What do I record? What do I say? What's your advice to them?
I think my advice is just you should be constantly educating yourself. So, I mean, you could literally just go on YouTube and find out how to do an Instagram Live, a Facebook Live, how to build social media. You can literally research anything that you want to. And if you really are that, inept with technology and phones, then you hire somebody. Hire somebody to run your social media pages. Hire somebody to do all of your work for you. And you have to get yourself out there. I tell my team all the time, just post videos of your showings. If you don't have a deal going on right now, just post a video of a showing. People want to see the content. People want to see a beautiful kitchen, a barn door. Like, people go crazy for that kind of stuff. Beth explains all the time that she went through an entire house renovation. She put everything on Facebook and it blew up just for her renovating her house. Like, how simple and silly is it? But people love that shit. She probably got so many leads from her own house renovation. It's just about putting content out. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. Yes, I put out wine and I put out food, and people like it. People are like, wow, that was a good bottle. You know what I mean? Like La Familia. I met La Familia last night. I had 2 people reach out to me like, oh, we love La Familia. It's just about putting out content. It's just people who want to be entertained.
Do you do anything to grow your Instagram following, or is it just all organic? Are you just putting shit out there and people are liking it and that's it?
Yeah, it's been all organic. I boosted stuff. Like, I did a video on my listing on Scotts Cove the other day, and I put it out and I boosted it. But other than that, it's really just all organic.
How do you feel? Like, have you done a lot of Instagram and Facebook marketing for your listings?
Yes.
So, have you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Adam, Amanda, and Alex, Alexander, they're real big with that. And I haven't talked to them to see like how that's worked out and how that if they quantified that.
My girlfriend, you know, like how you ever think about something and it's on your phone. Like you're like, what the hell? I have an FBI agent in my phone.
Well, no, there's a microphone that listens to you.
Yeah. My girlfriend sells that software essentially.
It's
like a data tracker.
The spy software.
It's nuts. Yeah, basically. So basically, that's what I have. I use a spy software that essentially, if I know you're on your phone, you're on Google, you're looking at Trulia, you're looking at mortgage apps, whatever. So, I know you're looking at for houses.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me dial that back. When you met her, did she have that job, or she got away with it?
So she got a new job, but she's always been in software sales. But she actually doesn't sell that software. She just sells like a data tracking software. Like she works, you know, companies like Amazon. Okay. Basically, they just like track users on their website, how to make them engage more. If you put something on Amazon and you put it in your cart, her like software will basically help Amazon to get you to actually buy it.
So basically, your girlfriend's like the CIA.
Essentially, yeah.
She knows what you're doing at any moment in time.
Yeah, exactly.
For the most part. Yes.
So I use this very similar software so basically I know that you're online. I know you're looking for a house, Trulia, whatever, mortgages.
Wow, they have that
Facebook.
Shit?
Of course, they take that to Facebook. It's a whole algorithm.
Wow.
Now I target to you on Facebook. I target to people out in Queens. I do Nassau, everywhere.
This is fucking awesome. Technology is crazy.
It's insane. Yeah.
Like, and I suck at it because I'm like on that cusp. Plus, I have no attention span.
Yeah.
So for me to sit there and like research all that stuff, you're a much better man than I am. I can't do it. But I want to get involved in, you know, as much tech as I can that makes things more efficient.
Well, if you ever need help, let me know.
That is awesome. Yeah, actually, as soon as we get off here, I got an idea about something I want to give it.
Okay.
What advice would you give to a new agent? You have an agent about to start out.
Yeah.
Picked a broker, about to pick a broker. They see a lot of opportunity, but they have no idea what to do. What do you tell them?
You got to do it for yourself. You know, ultimately, whatever brokerage you choose, just make sure they have good training. Make sure that you feel comfortable. Make sure it's a good culture. But at the end of the day, it's on you. No one's gonna hand you anything. No one's gonna come up to you and say, "Here's $1 million listing." You know, congrats. You got to go out and get it yourself. You have to hustle. I saw you had somebody on here. I think his name was Tyler. That's doing like 300 cold calls a day. I wasn't doing that many, and I would never even claim to do that. But I mean, even if I was doing, let's say, 30, 40, I was calling everyone I could. I was calling all my friends, family, cousins. I was calling every for sale by owner, every expired, make me move, everything. You have to. Nobody's going to give you business right from the start. You have to be able to go out and get it yourself.
The biggest agents like yourself, the Brian Karps, the Beth Lowe's, what do you think the top 3 things they're doing are the top 3 things that generate the most leads are for them?
Branding yourself is definitely very, very important. You know, Brian Karps sends out, he's everywhere, yeah. And he sends out cookies at his closings with his face on it. So that's a pretty good idea for branding. I would never do that.
That
but
is a fucking
to each
great
their own.
idea.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's got his face on his car, you know, whatever. So branding is very important. Number 2, believe it or not, I think doing the right thing by everybody is very, very important. So not being a scumbag in this business, doing right by people, you know, letting people trust you is very, very important. And whether it's agent to agent, agent to a client or a seller, I think it's always really important just to be kind and to do the right thing. And the third thing is just be good at what you do. So if you're going to make a promise and tell somebody that you're going to be able to sell their house for over ask, or, you know, you're going to market their house, this, that, the other, make sure that you're doing it. You know, don't kind of, don't make false promises, because there's a lot of money in this. These houses are people's biggest investment.
Yeah, do what you say, man. Just do what you say. It's that
say.
simple. Pick up the phone, do what you say, go to work, do the right thing, come from a pure place, and you'll be very surprised at how much money you make.
Yeah.
And it's not an overnight thing. It's a process.
No, exactly.
I mean, 18 months is a short period of time when you think about it, but like grinding 18 months is a lot.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of work.
I feel like I've had my license for 10 years.
Exactly.
Yep.
And you talk like somebody that has. And when you talk about, you know, your jobs before that and your girlfriends before that or whatever, it was like 3 years ago. But you make it sound like it was like 30 years ago. Yeah. And you're like a 50-year-old man.
That's how I feel.
So, no, I know what you're saying. Like, like in the last 3 years of my life, I feel like it hasn't been that long, yet so much shit has happened. Mm-hmm. And that's the way life is when you're constantly pushing to do things.
Yeah.
When you're just sitting around counting the moments to retirement or the moments to like get out of your job that you hate.
Yep.
It seems like an eternity.
Exactly.
But
time flies by when you're having fun.
So I want to know what's the future of Dan Oneil look like? What are the goals? What do you want to do? What are the dreams? I mean, you're young. You have and this obviously this can change because you're so young. Mm-hmm. But like today, when you sit here, handsome as hell in that suit in my office, you know, what are the goals? What are your dreams? What are your aspirations?
I mean, obviously, I want to have the number 1 team on the island. I want to be the number 1 agent on the island. I want to, you know, surpass Brian Karp. I want to double his business. And every day I think about it. And that's a good thing. It's a compliment to him.
I'm sure he's pumped about it.
Of course, it's a compliment to him. For me to even be talking about him here obviously means he's doing something right.
Exactly.
For me, I want to do it my own way. And I want to double his business. And I want, you know, to look back on this video and this podcast 5 years from now and be like, holy crap, I did it.
So this is what I think we should do right now. No pressure.
Okay.
Set a goal
and
a time frame.
Okay.
And we're going to record it and put it on here.
Okay.
And then you and I are going to reconnect for another podcast on that date in a year or 2 years or 3 years or whatever it is. So pick a time frame, quick.
5 years. So 2025 essentially.
I'll be president at the time. Okay?
I'll be 30.
Okay.
And I want to sell 150 houses.
150 houses.
Actually, you know what? No. I want to sell 160 because Carp did 150.
I think he's going to do like 170 this year, bro.
Then I'll do 180.
You know what? Let's just make it 200.
200, yeah.
Make it safe.
Yeah.
All right, Maddie, 5 years from today, what is that? 2024? 10/11/2024, you'll be projected or on the way to selling 200 houses in that year with the number 1 team on Long Island.
Done.
Bro, you're the fucking man. You inspire me. I love it. I love having you around me. I appreciate
it.
your help and support with everything.
Of course.
How do people follow you? If people are interested in the team, how do they get involved? How do they talk to you?
So Instagram is Dan Oneil _. It's Oneil. Instagram for the team is the Oneil team _ and Facebook Dan Oneil. And if you ever have any questions, if you're a new agent, you ever need any advice or anything, you know, I'm not Superman, but I would love to help if I can.
Fucking awesome. You're doing it the right way, the best way. I love what you're doing.
Appreciate it.
I also love Captain Permit and everybody else in this room. If you need plans, if you need permits, you got to call them 516-513-8838. If you have a house that smells like Cappy, dated from the 1960s, call Dan Oneil and tell him I'm only going to list this house with you if you sell it to the fucking Handsome Homebuyer. 516-777 sold. If you need video, photography, wedding shit, anything video related, you want to call the man, the myth, Matt R. Visual at Matt R. Visual on Instagram. We're out.
Orgulloso estoy de mi herencia judía. Benjamín Leven Shlomo, cuando me llaman a la torre así me llaman.